Hello, guys. Welcome to the next episode of Building Chat for our space game. And just to remind you what was in the last episode, we finished front end and back end for this simple chat. So here we are. Here we can talk with Eve, our spaceship AI. And on the left, you can see the endpoint for post request where we receive a message, we validate it is there. We have a messages array that represents the database, and we call for Open API to use the ChatGPT 3.5 model to do the chat thing. And also we have the setup here that gives AI a little bit of context of where we are, what are we doing. So it knows that it is AI of the spaceship lost in space, and it needs to help crew members who we are as a player to survive. So today what we are going to do is we are going to fulfill this setup with additional context of the previous actions of the player, what they've done in the game world, and also some idea of the spaceship itself. Like once you move inside the game, like with these actions, like you can ask Eve to unlock the door to medical room, and you can move to medical room, or you can go back to stasis room. You know, there is a map of the ship, which rooms are connected with each other. So AI should be for sure aware of that as a spaceship AI. So later on, we might ask him like, how do we get to engine room? And it should know like, okay, first you go from stasis room to medical room, and then to like corridor, and then from the corridor to engine room, something like that. So let's start. First of all, let me check that it is still working, because I think it was this project was closed on my computer for about a week. Yeah, so hello, how are you today? Yep, it is still up and running. Now, uh, here we have endpoint of API/chat, and it is not related to the current game, like game number 3. Ideally, I would move this endpoint inside games inside /ID. So let's do it. We'll just move the folder because we're using SvelteKit and it uses routing, folder-based routing or directory-based routing. We just move it here, and on front end we also need to adapt so it sends a request to the right endpoint. Here we are. This is our chat store. It's a SvelteKit store. And here we have /API/chat for our request. So now we need to do a placeholder for our ID. I guess it should be chat ID. Here it should be games, and on the end it should be chat. Okay, cool. Now we need to figure out how to get the current ID of the game. No, sorry, it should be game ID. Yeah, so let me figure out for a second. We have game store with the current game. Let me show you the state of the game store. It has current dot data with interface of game state, and it has ID there. And also we might access it by this part of URL, but I think using the store is more reliable way of doing that. So we can just import games store into chat store, and that will do the trick. Let's do it quick. So games store, it got imported, and then we need to use get function from SvelteKit store. Let's import that. Here it is. So once we get the games state out of it, and it is not promise based, so we can just do that without any await. In the game state, we get access to the current, and current has data, and data has ID. So current and data, actually just data can be undefined before current game is defined. But once we are on this screen with current game, it is for sure defined. So, but just to make sure we don't have any errors later on, we can add additional if throw statement here. Most probably it won't happen anytime, but this way we make sure TypeScript is happy and here data is defined 100% of the time. And also if for some reason later on this situation with this data changes, we will be notified by this throw new error. Some developers might do something like this, like, hey, TypeScript, I know better, it's 100% defined, so let me know. No, sorry, it won't let you know if situation changes. It is undefined, and you will get error here, but it will be unknown error, like something is undefined and it's hard to figure out what, especially if it is on production and you don't have like source maps included or something. So better use this approach. Okay, let's see. So we got the ID of the game, and I think it should now work as it worked before. Where we are, it should say on a spaceship, but it doesn't know which room we are at yet. Currently lost the space. Okay. Now this was front-end fix, but we need to make backend also. Right now, this messages our in-memory database. It is only for one chat. Actually, it is shared between all chats. So later on, we'll need to do map of messages by game ID. Okay, and also when we receive request to add additional message and we have to answer it, we need to like get state of current game. So let me look at the backend part of the game again. We have this server folder here, database access services. This is one place we can get it from. Also, we might have it on the server. Let me make myself smaller. I think I take too much space. In space, we might also save this game store in some local event locals, I mean in SvelteKit, but no, we don't do that. Okay. Then we just need to get game store. No, sorry, service. Game service here. We import it. And then we get the game by ID. should be just get. Also, we need to validate that ID is presented. Should be a number, right? Okay, but here it is actually string on number, so we need to convert it. Okay, so first we'll change it to if it is defined, so it is non-empty string, and also pardon, and also we need to check that inside of it is a number, so we need to convert it. So let's say const id equals number. Yeah, we might say event params id. If it is defined, then number, otherwise it will be undefined. Yeah, undefined. Okay, and then we can check it here. If id is defined, sorry, not defined, so undefined. And then here we can for sure know that it is just a number. Okay, cool. So we get the game. We need to await the promise. Say variable value to the variable game. And then in the game, there is a property story. So story is a JSON. Let me show you the type for a second so you know what I know. So here is a Prisma type. So inside is a JSON value, but also I have an additional types place, and no, not this one. One second. It is somewhere on the back end. Pum, pum, pum. Story. Yep, here it is. So yeah, story interface in the game engine. So what story context is? We know the room we are in, and they are all like slugs of the game. Sorry, of the room. For example, Stasis pod's room is something like camel case value, I believe. Also, last action key is same thing, some slug. Also, inventory is key and amount. Key is also a slug. So why I mentioned slugs is because ChatGPT most probably can understand it, but also here you can see we show it in a human-friendly way. So we can convert those slugs into the proper names of ChatGPT have better context rather than parsing slugs. But we'll see. Okay, and here is an object called context, which is story context with type context inside. Uh, let's see. And it is basically a JavaScript JSON object, which is a map where different events could happen to us, like as long as we proceed with the story. And each of them can have their own type of values. But let me give you an idea how does it look like in the database for this game. Okay, we need to configure quickly connection to the database. You can find it here. Here is our API key that I will need to change after this video since I spoiled it here. Okay, connection string, test connection, successful, save. I need to give it a name, So it's space game X, SPX dash local. Okay, connect now. Cool. So let me select story from games, and here you can see JSON. So let's look at game number 3, where ID equals 3. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Remember that interface we just looked at with inventory, current room key, last action key, and you can see the room is camel case, last action key is, what is it? I don't know, what shish kebab case, probably. Is game over false, inventory empty array, and context is when we were in the pod room, we answered yes for something. It's better described in the room's description with all the room's action. Let me show you this. This is story related. Each room is described here. So let's say we want to know more about the pod room or stasis room. It was multiple times renamed during the development of the game by the story writer. If we would look at the room description, it has some actions. There are groups of actions that are extracted to separate file because they are quite big, like this. For example, we can try to go back to sleep. If we do it more than once, we will die. For example, here we have option to sleep more if we slept less than one time. And the outcome is like you couldn't fall asleep basically. If you try it one more time and it is available if we slept already once, the outcome will be death and you never woke up. Something like that. This is how game is structured inside. This is a pretty primitive type of game engine that we wrote ourselves. Might be that would be a better idea to look on GitHub for existing engines, but we just wanted to have fun and write some game engine for text-based. You know, it's like in childhood, you always wanted to make your own game. So when time comes, you're like, should I make it more like a commercial product to use a lot of existing libraries and stuff? Or should I just make it like I always wanted to make it, like a little bit on my own? Of course, not the whole framework felt as like Svelte kit, but Game Engine, well, you cannot resist that. Okay, so open pod. Here you can see that when we make action open pod, we move to another room. And this is what was written to the context. We once answered yes. Well, actually, answer yes, it might be from another action. Here it is. Answer yes. Here. So this action, ask for more details about the situation. Once we do that, which we can do just once, the outcome is we set context answer yes. I'm not sure, like it's not the story that I wrote myself. And whatever. This is probably when you start a new game and AI asks you, are you awake? Yeah. And here you can ask for more details. Not sure. I like how the game it is all organized in the text. We might better refactor it to something else. but that's for me and the story writer to discuss. So, okay, this action is considered that we are actually answering yes on "Are you awake?" question. And this is written to the context. And this is why we see it here. Um, I need probably to explain why we write things to the context. It's because later on, some actions that you did in the past might have consequences, like you ignored some warning from AI in previous room, and when you got to this room, because AI warned you like, hey, it's not safe to go there, don't do that. But you ignored it and you went there, and for example, there is a hole in the spaceship hull, and well, you got pulled up out to space and you die. So context of your previous actions affect future conditions and actions you might do or events that can happen to you. This is why AI, who monitors us on the spaceship, knows what happened to us, and this is how this data is written. Okay, let's think. If we just say, "Hey, ChatGPT, there is a context that in Podroom, we answered yes. Will it make any sense for them to like understand what does it mean? It doesn't make sense for me. So probably this context object is not enough if we just feed it. Your pod unsafe. This is also something about the pod. Let me look at the room description. Pod safe. Ask to open pod. Unsafe. Here it's here. It's kinda you can force it to open the pod, or you can ask if it is safe to open the pod. For example, might be you are in a sleeping pod, and outside in the pod room there are no air. Because why should you have air on a spaceship for, I don't know, 10 years while you're traveling from point A in space to point B? Might be that's the explanation. And yeah, repressure the environment. So here we can see it is unsafe to leave the pod, and we might also ignore that. But I think we need to use this context to find more information from room description, and then with all this information, this is when we should feed it to ChatGPT, not not just this raw context. Because this context makes sense for game engine because it can find all the on the links between this data and the actual rules of the game descriptions of actions, but not for ChatGPT in this raw state. Okay, I think we can do that just like game engine does it. Game engine is basically a set of functions. They are uh, pure functions, so you can execute them with same inputs. They will always return same outputs, so they don't store any state. This is basically a description of pure functions in any programming language. Yeah, so one of the functions we probably might use to pick up details from this context. Yeah. So let's see where we were. We were here. We got the description of the game. Sorry for long explanation, but I think it's important for you to know a little bit about the inner structure of the game to know why are we doing this or that. So we have the story. Also, game might be undefined. Okay, we need to return 404, I guess. Yeah. If we haven't thrown the error, it means the game is there. Okay, and the story, we might set it to story of times type story variable. history. No, not history. Again, where is our story description? Story context. So I think we might need the context of. So the reason why it is generic type of story here is because this description, this set of rules, is for spaceship game, and technically and theoretically, we can have another type of story nearby, and game engine should be able to work with both medieval age story or spaceship story. That's why context should be provided from above. Let's see where we can find description of the context in the spaceship story. Think somewhere in initial story. Oh, we do not provide. It is any. Okay, okay. Yeah. Well, not very. Hmm. And this is my code. Shame on me. Okay, later on, I think we might provide some context for different stories, so it is more type safe. Okay, let me close this. Yeah, let's save this file for future. We'll keep this open as a reference. This is actions for the first room. So what about we just focus on the first room and make sure ChatGPT can work with the first, maybe one or two rooms here. By the way, this is room number 7. How does it look for the new game? So this information is about game number 3, in which we moved a little bit further in the story. But how does the context look for game number 7? Sorry, I wanted to say 3, which is new. Yeah, here we say pod room. We already answered yes here when I demonstrated it, and we asked for more details. Yep. Okay, so basically before we did that, it was fully empty object. Okay, got it. Nice. Okay, but for the game number 3, let's see. How can we pull it out? This is game service, we can close that. Story interface, we can close that. What about we just start with description of the room where we are? So ChatGPT knows where we are. Yeah, that should be simple enough. Okay, let's import it. Import the story object. And we need to make some conversions from JSON value. Actually, let me Google it for a second. Is it possible to convert it using some Prisma way, not just as unknown as a story as I usually do? I do it, but it feels not very type safe or a little bit nasty way of doing that. So JSON value is either a string, either a number, is a boolean, null, or object or array. Do they have any specific function? Or maybe something generic somewhere? I don't see anything yet. Okay, let's use the nested way so far. It worked well. So we got the story, we got current room key, and we can get description of the current room. This is front end. This is actions. Status pod actions. Status pod. What about context? Room key. My status pod. Where is the description of this room? One sec, I'm a little bit lost. I haven't opened the game for a while. Here it is. So my status pod is a room object. It has key, that slug that I called, and here it says name. So basically we can get a list of rooms and find the proper room we need by the key. And all the rooms are here in the rooms index file. Okay, awesome. So let's import it here. Rooms is an array. So let's use find. It should be there again. If it is not there, let's just throw some error to be safe. But if it is there, then room name will be room name. Yep, simple as that. So now, to let ChatGPT know about it, we probably need to modify the first message in the messages array that is set up. So what about here in setup, we'll just merge it with another string which says current room is this one. Yeah, we'll make it a little bit nicer in a moment. Let's just see if it knows. So we are in status pod rooms. Where am I? You're currently in the status rooms of the spaceship. Yes! Okay, after all the explanations and all my struggling to work with the old code I haven't touched for weeks, it worked. Nice. Cool. So let's make this code a little bit nicer. So I would call it custom setup equals setup, and I want it to be like this. This is a little bit better. It gives us an opportunity to add more and more lines to this setup. Okay, what's next? We are going to let ChatGPT know about the context. Maybe last applied action, last crew member message action. Last action key. Well, last action key is that shish kebab case might be clear if all the game keys were well written, and this is not I would rely on, because how a story writer writes keys for the game, and keys first of all should be clear for them, but it might be not clear for other people and for ChatGPT as well. So let's look at this actions. No, not this, but this actions. So for example, more details in which room. Yeah, we know that it is in the folder status pod room, but how to find it? Yeah. So again, let's look at this object. Oops. Last action key. Go to stasis pod's room. This So this last action key, basically in the game front end, it is used to um, to show this text. Based on this text, we display uh, this. Based on this action, we display this text. Sorry. Okay. And in the game engine, let me show you what the game engine look like. I said it was a lot of functions. For example, get room by key from rooms array, get current room, again current room name. Oh, we could use that. Okay. Um, get current room art. This is this picture. Get inventory and item VM. It is what player sees. So item and item record. Item has key, has name, has description. Oh, we can feed that. Nice. Yeah. I suggest instead of last action, which is not fully clear for me how to do, let's do the inventory. How should we say? Crew member action? I think earlier in the setup we should say like there is only one crew member to survive. The responsibility is to help the crew members to survive. So far you can detect only one crew member. Let's give it a name. Name the player. Will it give ChatGPT an idea that this is a game? Yeah, let's rename it to John or something. Okay, so John's inventory. Yeah, let's start using these functions from game engine. Get inventory, we should feed it with story, and I think it was items array. Items array is an array of items that all possible items in this story, like a database of items. Okay, we import that too. We import this function from the game engine. Now we can see all of them are imported from libs server where they sit. Okay, and this is an array, so let's let's map it. I think item name. Yeah, let's map it to a function, to a string. Sorry. So string would be item name, then we need to show amount. So let's wrap each item into quotes. Amount is item amount if it is there. Like some items are unique and it's only one. Amount either one. Okay, what else sits in the item? Let me look at it again. Okay, amount, key, name, description. Might be description. Yeah, so description would help AI to figure out what this item can do or cannot do. Um, description. Okay, cool. And also I need to close it. Also, I need to close it with, start it with /n, so each item starts on each line and it's clear for ChatGPT. Just join, no separator, no specific one. Okay, and also I want to log our custom setup so we can see it. Cool. So right now I see here in the UI that we don't have any items. What's inside my inventory? Here we can see basic setup, current room, John's inventory. I'm sorry I don't have information about John's inventory. Can you ask John to provide? Okay. Yeah, we should customize basic setup. So it says John is communicating to you now. Help him as best as you can. Okay, let's save that. Again, what's inside my inventory? We might give it an idea that it is empty here. I'm sorry, but I don't have access to John's inventory. Yeah, let's make it so if it is empty, like empty string, and we should just say empty. I should copy the string what's inside my inventory. Copy. Okay, now it says empty on the left, which is good. I apologize, as an AI, I don't directly see your inventory. John's communicating with you now. Current room, John's inventory. How do we nudge ChatGPT to answer in the format we want? Oh, I had already 2 lines here describing that it is John. John, okay, let me remove anything extra. Help him as best as you can. Okay. John's inventory, empty. Okay, what about we say you can see next, you have next information about the situation. I have an idea that I should just move this whole setup thing just here. John's inventory, John's communicating with you now. Okay, one more try. My inventory. Yes, John, as of now, your inventory is empty. Yes. Okay, we got this. Do you need any help gathering resources? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, next we should give it an idea of what are the rooms all the rooms of the spaceship. Next, we will make it know how they are connected. Spaceship rooms. Oh, okay, nice. Where am I? Oh, we might I might formatted it wrong. You're currently in study. Where am I? Currently in the studies room. Uh, what are other rooms on the ship? Let's imagine after studies I don't remember anything. You're in the studies pod room, other rooms, medical room, corridor, cockpit, captain's room. Nice. Okay, so it does have an idea now. How they are connected to each other. Oh, that's a tricky one. So connection between rooms is not written in the in some map. It is a result of actions. So if we would look at the status pod, how we'll leave it is we have an action to not go back to sleep, but ask to open pod, open pod, open pod. And after we open the pod, the outcome is moved to another room. So what we can do is we can go through all the actions, find, so actions are linked to their room. Find all actions inside each room that are connected by outcomes to another one. Nice. Okay, let's see. So we have a list of rooms now. Rooms are connected like this. Yeah, we might need in the future some better way of distinguish connections. Okay. Well, game engine is not perfect yet. So for each room, let's remove all of that. Let's remove all of that. We have actions. And actions are arrays. So let's filter to find action that have outcome. Outcomes is an object. Oh wait, it is either an object of type action outcome or it is action outcome condition array. Okay, so action outcome is simple. We either show some text, either we add some items or remove items or move to another room or set context or well, player dice, either a multiple of that. What is action outcome condition? Okay, so it's action conditions like something is in the context or user has some items and some outcome, and condition has string key. Okay, this is fine. So if it is an array, let's say, let's make it a multi-line function. So if array is array outcomes and inside outcomes find outcomes with outcome of room. and that would be, yeah, we need an object of connections. Or well, it's not an object, it's an array. So let's make a constant here. Other rooms that are connected to this one. Right now it's empty. If we find any, or actually let's just for each, if there is outcome of room, we push it to other rooms. Okay, then this makes other rooms an array of keys or slugs. We'll then need to map it to the room name. Okay, cool. Otherwise, if it is not an array, it is just a single outcome. And if it has a room, then we'll push it again to our array. Okay, cool. Then we need to map it. So let's say map other rooms to room names. Okay, I'll do it myself. Other rooms, map rooms. Okay, there is a room get room function. Get room our rooms name join. Okay, that should be list of rooms separated by comma, but we should say from and current room to, and then this list of rooms. Okay, so from room, so we need current room. Where is current room? Room name. Okay, let's see if it is correct. How do I get to corridor? Oh, I have an error. Error. I have an error for each if maybe it's not closed or something. Declaration state. I need to wrap it in additional curly brackets. Okay. How to get to engine room? Rooms are connected like this. Oh my. Oh. Is it real instruction? I don't know. It might just make it up from the list of rooms. This is definitely to be fixed. Okay. So how do we fix it? From room, from room. I don't see any from. Can I search through the terminal text? No. Rooms are connected like this. /n here. So this will make it start from new line. How do I get to engine room? Okay, it starts from new line. Oh, we have a lot of connections, it seems. Okay. Yep. Need to extract probably this because this is per room. Okay. Sorry guys, I made a bad move here. Let's fix that. So once we iterate over rooms and we got our current room, by the way, this is not room name, const room name, and this one let's rename to current room. Okay, and room name here is get, oh wait, just room name, yeah, simpler. Under rooms is an array of strings. Let's also say other room keys, other rooms keys. Yeah, now from this room we iterate over its actions and we fill it there where it ends. It should just fill, yeah, sorry, it probably was a problem with this all brackets. Let's format it. Okay, let's try it out. How do I get to medical room? Oh, nice. So from stasis pod to stasis pod room, stasis pod room. Oh, it should be unique. It should be a set. So this is a new set of strings. And here we say add. So set would avoid to contain non-unique items. Okay, let's look what else we can improve here. So maybe instead of from and to, we'll just say this arrow symbol that make it look better. And also let's convert our set to array keys. Actually, it's values. Oh, it doesn't matter. Values. Oh, wait. Let's just use array from. This is the best way. I know how to convert set to array. Okay. Try last time. I think it should work now. How do I go get to engine room? So first of all, let's figure out if we will understand that. From stasis pod, we can go to stasis pod room. From stasis pod room, we go to medical room and back to stasis pod. Okay, that makes sense. From medical room to corridor and back to stasis pods. From corridor to all other rooms except stasis pod room. Okay. Then from cockpit, we can only go back to corridor. From captain room, again back to corridor. Okay, so from corridor, we cannot go to engine room. How do we get to engine room? Oh, we can get there from AI control room. Nice. Let's compare it to what ChatGPT tells us. Let me make it bigger so we can see. You can reach the engine room from the corridor. From the stasis pod room, you can go to medical room by using the door that connects them. Then from medical room, you can reach the corridor and then head to engine room. Well, this is good, but I don't think this is correct. Like, engine room is only accessible from AI control room, or from space. So probably this format of writing rooms connection is not very clear for ChatGPT. Hmm, 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 hmm. Maybe add some spaces after commas would help, but not sure. Maybe let's return from. You can get to next rooms. That's pretty long way of writing that, but maybe that will work. How do I get to engine room? Okay, let's check it again. From stasis spots to corridor. Once you're in the corridor, you can access engine room directly. Okay, it doesn't work. Engine room. Okay, let me copy this to somewhere here and use search here. So engine room. Only from AI control room and space. So this way of writing that is not clear for ChatGPT, or it is not smart enough to understand that to get to engine room, you need first to get to like AI control room. And to get to AI control room, oh wait, I'm stupid. It is accessible from the corridor. Okay, sorry ChatGPT. That's me who is stupid here. Okay, but there was one room I remember, like AI control room, that is not accessible from corridor. Yeah, it's not here highlighted in the corridor list of rooms. So we get there from engine room. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Let's ask it about this and how to get to AI control room. Okay, stasis pods room, medical room, corridor, engine room. Nice. So it does understand. Wow, I'm impressed. It even wrote this arrow signs. Nice. Okay, guys, I think we'll wrap it up here. For me, what I need to do is to make this messages array to sit in the database and it to be separated by game ID. But for you, what I'd like to see that you write in comment if it helped you to make your customizations of ChatGPT uh, messages, how it helps you after you know, tweak it a little bit. If it does. If it doesn't, well, let me know. Maybe we can go through your questions together. Meanwhile, thank you and have a good day. Ciao.